Hello and welcome to Dubai Trains. Here we are at the first job of today. I'm going to be using this Alco RS3, so let's start her up. I think I turned the full startup sequence off. So a little bit abrupt, so let's give him a horn. And off we go. Let's take it a bit easy there. So let me explain a little bit what we're going to be doing today. It's the yard. And that's the train we're going to be using. We're going to be operating the engine with the proto throttle. If we look at the roster, while the train makes its way to the cars, we're going to be running the first train of the day, so the Neo North 1. And we're going to be switching the west side of Neo North. What we're going to want to do is come around on this track, pick up those cars, and give a little bit of explanation as we go along. So let me just juice it up, notch 2 right there. And then it's proto throttle, so I can maintain the speed, put back to idle. And you hear the engine just slowly coast. You go to notch 1 again. And once we pass that turnout, slowly slam the brakes there. Turn it around and back up. So I'm slowly just going to be moving this camera around to get all these angles. See if I can juggle all that real time. So let me slowly. There we come. And off we go. Now we're in simple operations mode, so that means we don't have any car cards, so we're taking 5 cars out. We're going to swap them for 5 cars and come back with 5 cars until we have the car card system. And we're still also, testing the layout. Now if you're wondering how those cars got there in the first place, this little switcher, put it there, the yard switcher. And set that all up for us. Here we are. And now let me set up the turnouts correctly so we can switch Neo North. Explain a little bit what we're going to be doing here. So we arrive in Neo North and we're going to be switching the west side of track 2. This is the track we're arriving on right now. Let me slowly bring it to a halt. Just before that turnout right there. I want to do a run around straight off the bat, so let me just make sure I can do that. Get some focus there, because we're going to be picking up the cars there and one more down there. So what's going to happen, we have 5 cars, and like I said, we're going to swap 5 cars. I'm going to pick up those 2 flat cars. There's 2 more reefers over there, so that's 4. And behind that box car is a gondola. I'm going to pick that one up as well. The first thing we're going to do here is actually run around, because generally you want to lift the cars that need to be lifted and then spot the cars that you have, because we can't spot these cars until these 2 flat cars are out of the way. So, and as this is a facing spur from that side, I'm just going to, like I said, do run around, get those 2. I'm also going to position the caboose as we can. just to get that ready for the way out. So we need to be thinking ahead a little bit. Let me just switch the camera to a location where we can see all the action. Let me see, somewhere around here. Up a little bit. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me first get that caboose. I'm just gonna collect it now. Get that out of the way. So in more detail, we're now gonna get the caboose and then get those two flat cars. And I'm gonna position the flat cars on this track number 1 and spot the caboose somewhere here. And why are we doing that? Let's do this. Let's get the caboose. And why are we doing that? Because then later we can back up on this track, get the two flat cars, get these two, and hook up the caboose, and then off we are. So that's that. A plan in motion. Gonna get both of them. So we need to collect 5 cars. So all that is backing up. That means we got 2, 3, 4. And then I'll go for that gondola right there. And then we got a spot 5. I'm gonna put 2, 3, and then 4, 5 in that structure right there. So let's just finish this move quickly. And like I said, I'm going to spot 2 cars here and 1 there. Going to be these 2 box cars and that gondola. So after we get these out of the way, we can do that. And then we'll just do a quick run around, do all the trailing spurs, because now we're doing the facing one, do the trailing ones, and then that's that. Then we're off back to the yard. Now this Bowser I have has a ESU decoder in it, and that is supposed to be the best decoder for operating the decoder throttle. Let me just put this guy here, see what I'm doing. And it's just, I don't know, man. Sometimes it just doesn't want to move at all. It's a heavy load, so let me throttle it up a bit. Sometimes it just doesn't want to move at all, the engine. It just doesn't respond. You know, everything, the sound is on, and I just had it a minute ago. I edited it out, but I don't know. It shouldn't be like that for an engine this price. This is a new Bowser. I just got it in the recent, what was it, the spring release, I guess. Oh, that will do. And also at a higher speed, I don't know exactly which speed step. It's actually a medium speed. You know, you see I run very slow. So I think it's when I go to notch, oh, is it like notch 4 or something? Because now we're on notch 2. Like the idle. Cruise it out a bit. Love the sound of these guys. But when I go to notch 4 or 5, it just stutters for some reason. I have no idea why. It's, I guess, an engine control issue. Because when you go higher, then it doesn't, faster I should say, then it doesn't have that issue. So just around notch 4 or 5, it just really stutters massively. Maybe I'll show you in a separate video. But yeah, that's a bit weird. I don't have that issue with other decoders and other engines. And Bowser's, I like Bowser's. I have another Bowser, this U25 or something like that. And it's beautiful engines. And that one runs, it's like a tank. That thing can pull anything you throw at it. So something like that. And it also doesn't, it accelerates quite abrupt. And I'm sure when I put it in the box, it wasn't like that. I need to have a look at that. So anyway, that's the fun you have with the profile. I also have, I'm a big soundtracks fan as well, to be honest. So we're going to get this car and these two. So I'm going to leave that one here. And I'm just going to cut it off just before the road. Because there's a whole load of people, angry people waiting right now. Because we've been blocking that road for a while. And they don't like that. But hey, I have the right to do that on this railroad. There's no time constraints when it comes to blocking a road. Don't forget we're in the 1950s, so people had more time back then, didn't they? They had 28 hours instead of 24. And so just backing it up, just a little bit off camera, don't worry. So let's back it up and just freehand it a little bit, just to get some better views in here. Too late than never. So this is going to be a good run because we're going to spot the two box cars on this track right here, and then put the gondola there on the other track, and then we're almost halfway through, well, more than halfway through the train. Some bell on here. People might be working. Coming in a bit hot. Still coming in hot. And that'll do. Turn the bell off for a second. Now, as you see, I'm not very disciplined on my horns and bells when it comes to the crossings yet. I still need to basically figure out what to do with that. Because in the... Oh, I just get the right one? Yeah. Because in this whole near north section, I have, I think, 6 crossings. And I'm not gonna use the horn for every crossing because this is driving nuts. But we do need to do something. And I already figured out a few things. Some of the crossings are going to be controlled. Some of the crossings, like this one, are going to have crossing gates, a little guard tower. So that's just going to mean that you don't need to build a horn on this one. You will for that one, because when you come in, it's nice. I mean, you do want to have the little horn, use the whistle every now and then. This road, I think I'm actually going to block it off, to be honest, as if it's not used. And then we're going to have a horn there, and the other one is the secured crossing as well. That's not the word. What's the word? Crossing with gates. Anyway, someone's going to leave that in the comments for me. Sorry. We're not good at doing two things at once, are we? Talking and operating. So there's that one. Now let me just slowly back up and have a little think what we're going to do. Yeah, now we have two box cars, that one and that one. And they both need to go over there. And we're going to come in from that side. So I'm basically just going to spot this one back, do a run around, get them, and put the camera down. And I'm just going to head over there. Now, as you notice, there's no traffic right now. We are expecting a brewery train that's going to pass by at some point, so we need to let that one pass. I think that might be on the way in a minute, actually. And we're also the first ones in, so we are the operator. My layout is set to able to work with between 1 and 4 people. So that's not a lot. So it basically means that some people have double duty. So the first train in Near North is the operator for Near North. So that's us. So we're going to have that train, the brewery runs will come in a minute, and then we have to give it clearance. So it's going to call us on the walkie-talkie, and we'll see how that goes in a minute. Let me see where he is actually. Get this guy done. Hoopla. Oh, that's not something I need to look at. So let me spot them just not in front of the road crossing. So I think this free-handed camera work is working out quite well, huh? I might put it back on the stand in a minute, but you just want to get the better angles. And I'm not putting the camera on the stand, it just really doesn't work that well. And also, Pro Throttle is not the most handy thing to be operating with one hand. Yeah, no. Seeing so a lot of scenery we need to be doing. And I'm actually thinking of what next. It's going to be the order sequence. And I think part of the sequence is to do a lot of the roads first. And then butt the ballast up against that. And obviously the structure. So I have a few structures coming in. And in the far distance we still have, let me see all the way over there, we still have the coal trestle. We're working on that as well. That needs to be finished first because it's the track and it's part of the operations. I'm gonna get all the track out of the way. That's the true last piece of track. And then once that's done, and yeah, I'm probably just gonna make all the roads all at once. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Let's cut them, paint them, not that much work. Hoopla. There we go.
Hello, this is the brewery run coming in from the yard. I need to pass through near north, heading to the brewery. Hey, good morning. Permission to use track 322. Over.
So there the brewery train comes in, and we can actually run parallel to it, which we're going to do right now. We're heading in that same direction. So now we're doing 3 things at once. Focusing on a slow walking steady cam, running 2 trains, and trying to come up with something to say. Let me just put that camera down. Get rid of one of them. Speed up a bit. What a time that must have been in the 50s, in the 40s and 30s with these massive steam engines. It's really hard to imagine that. So let me just get that steamer out of the way. It's muted. Just like that. That's a bit rough, maybe. Because we need to back up. So, good. Steamer is heading to the brewery. And let me check the roster. No, we're not going to see that brewery run again today. Or at least not in this video. So we're just going to quickly back up. And that's almost going to be it for today. Just got to collect those cars we're talking about. And then that's it. So when I exit near north, me the operator. Well, that was a bit fast. Anyways, the then there will be no operator in this area unless there's someone else coming in. There is another operator. This is another train, a New North switcher scheduled actually. It's on the roster, but I'm not doing it yet. Don't have enough cars. Well, actually I have enough cars, but they're just all a little bit, it's not all flowed out, it's not all in sync yet. I really need to balance the layout a bit more. So that's going to be the job. And then after that we have, let me see what we have. Then we have the Pensley Hostler. I think I might do the brewery run tomorrow in a video. So we just spotted those two cars, and now it's an easy getaway. Actually, it's an almost easy getaway, because as you remember, we came in with 5 cars. We said we're going to leave with 5 cars. And we also wanted to get this one. Just right there, crossing the double slip turnout. And I actually really like that guy. It's a Pico number 6, and it runs so smooth. Any direction, there's not a hitch. I really like Pico turnouts in general. Almost all of them on the layout are there we go, so that's what I mean. This guy just sometimes doesn't run well. So here we go, now we're going to show you how we're going to do this. We're going to pick up these 2 cars, pick up those 2 cars at the end, and I want my caboose to be at the end. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to shove it a little bit down the line. Let me show you. Let's get it out of the way. And actually, you know what? We're going to be switching over this road. I'm just going to deliberately park it on the road, but I can't because then it's not clearing the turnout, so I'm not going to do that. Park a little bit further. And then one of the brakemen will just keep that road there. I think it's called flagging the road, isn't it? So we'll flag the road. In due time, that's something we can model. Maybe have a button here on the side of the fascia where you can turn on or off the some signals, or maybe a guide pop up out of the layout. That latter one would be neat. Never seen it before, but it shouldn't be too difficult to make. So there we go, across the road, across the other road. So here you see all the fruit of our earlier labor. Let's shut the camera up a little bit more. And the fruit of the labor is that we pre-positioned the 2 flat cars, we pre-positioned the caboose, and now we just gotta back up into these cars. Just like that. No horn because we can, because we're done almost. And let's get this all string there in there. And we're gonna go through the super elevated curve back into the yard. And then that's this job. Yeah, those crossings, there's a crossing going over right there. They're a bit wobbly. Those are Atlas crossings. And they're just a little wobbly. I really wish that the Pico would have more crossings. They just don't. They didn't have the two different degrees crossing that I needed. So yeah, tough luck. I'm gonna have to use the Atlas ones. Get this camera a bit ready. I'm gonna back up into that guy and put the bell on for the guys in the caboose so they know something's coming their way. Slow down a little bit. And there we go. Off to the races.
This is New North 1, permission to enter the yard. Yard master, please proceed to the arrival departure track.
So I was coasting to the yard. Yeah, I think I was gonna coast into the yard. That was a fun little run, wasn't it? Took about, was it 45 minutes? So, that's that turnout there. Slowly come to a halt. And that's it, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you have any comments, feedback on the video, how it was, please let me know so I can try to improve it next time. That's all for today. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
This video was made possible by ABR Model Works, providing kits and accessories for all model railroaders. Looking to support the model railroading community? Check out the Dubai Trains Patreon page